I want to get into a reaction video that somebody sent me, and it's about work culture. So this man in particular is explaining to us why nobody wants to work anymore, particularly Gen Z. Again, nobody wants to work anymore, particularly Gen Z. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's see what's happening out in these streets, y'all.
Good morning. Today I wanted to talk about this meme that's been going around for a couple years now. The meme.
Homie got he got the steering wheel that's ate up. That you've been driving so much that the leather's starting to fall off that joint. Let me give him a shout out. So I always like to acknowledge the content creators. Make sure y'all go and check out their channel. His name is called Millennial Diligence. Millennial Diligence right now got over 1,000 subscribers, possibly monetized. So go and check out his channel. Subscribe to his channel. Tell Time Dog that you sent them if you just so happen to watch this video. So shout out to the content creators. His name is Millennial Diligence. Let's get to it.
Of young people, particularly Gen Z, who don't want to work anymore. Nobody wants to work anymore. I think these generalizations get pushed by the media a lot as kind of this miracle salve or just a miracle excuse for what's going on that kind of masks a larger problem. And I don't think you can pin it on one particular issue about how younger people aren't motivated to work. But I think a big part of it is they're seeing, especially Gen Z, are seeing how badly the millennials got scammed and conned into the whole get a degree, get a good job trap.
I never understood that logic. I never understood that sentiment that somebody got scammed and conned and to get a degree, get a job trap. How is that a trap? I think the problem is that a lot of these people are complaining about the fact that they overpaid for their degree in a curriculum that didn't pay much money. So if you went and got a basket weaving degree, then you're going to be in trouble. If you went and got a liberal arts degree, it's a possibility you might be in trouble. If you went and became a social worker, but you came out with $150,000 in debt, guess what? You might be in trouble. I've seen people go and get doctorates in studies that had nothing to do with nothing. If you went and got an African-American studies degree and you couldn't leverage it or use it to make more money, but you paid a whole lot of money as a result of it, you decided you didn't want to go to community college because you was too good for it. Nobody got scammed as far as being a millennial. Let's be clear. You made an informed decision. You had to go into the financial aid office. You made sure that you signed the papers. You went and bought some Timberlands. You partied with your friends. You went and you halfway studied. Some of y'all never even got a degree. And so now you got these student loans and then you want to act like somebody stole your puppy. No, that's not what happened. What happened was you made a bad decision and or you had this dream. You wanted to be an architect. You wanted to be a software engineer. You wanted to be a doctor. You wanted to be a lawyer. You wanted to do these things. And then you didn't want to actually study when it came to going into the classrooms. And so what you did instead was you acted like it was too hard and I'm going to change my degree and I'm going to get something simpler in order for me to be able to stay at school. Nobody scammed you at all. Nobody scammed any of these millennials. Nobody scammed anybody that came before them. And so I think that y'all made informed decisions. And for some reason, you didn't manage your money correctly. You didn't manage your education correctly. And so now you got to pay for it. And I tell people all the time, the decisions that you make when you're younger is basically what happens or whether or not you're going to really be that man or that guy when you get older. You are paying for the decisions that you made when you was busting it down for a real one. That's just really what it came down to. Skill trades was still there. Jobs was still there. There was a lot of stuff that was still there. I was very much aware of what was going on. And so I made an informed decision. That is not a scam.
I myself, I got a degree and I should have got a better degree. I got a liberal arts degree. And kids,
I seen somebody say the other day that it's a travesty to see older white men of this generation still making the same mistakes, although they had a leg up above everybody to make an informed decision. And to see them in the middle of the pack, slightly above black people. Now, I didn't say it because I don't really care, but this is what I heard people say. To see people making bad decisions, like still getting a liberal arts degree, after all of the things that we know, but yet we got people coming into this country making sure that they don't even think about nothing unless it's going to generate a lot of revenue. It's crazy to me.
Don't let your kids get liberal arts degrees, because that's a huge mistake. So I hold my hand up there. That was my fault. I was a young, stupid kid chasing a dream. I wanted to be a videographer. I was for a few years, but man, video doesn't pay. So getting back to the first point, I think Gen Z is looking at the millennials and saying, oh, we don't really want to waste 10 years in the rat race like they did, paying off loans and stuff like that. So we're going to do our own thing. Now, that's not to say that some of them aren't just lazy, including a lot of the millennials are lazy too. I get that.
That's a fact. Whoa. And so we always like to skip over the fact that a lot of these people is just lazy. And it's Instagram culture. So you see people. I did a video yesterday as I was walking out of the office. Because I was walking into the office. I came into the office at 5:55 a.m. yesterday. And I left out of the office at 8 p.m. yesterday. After I left out of the office at 8 p.m., I went over to the apartment that was right up the street. I cruised around a little bit. I stopped and I got some juices or whatever like that. Some of those, whatever, you know what those are. They be like kale, lettuce, the cold pressed juices. And then I started immediately preparing for tomorrow, and I started preparing for after hours, which we wound up doing after hours, and it was a great show yesterday. But they don't see that part. And a lot of people don't show that part. And so because I show so much of my life and I've shared so much of my life, I wound up scrapping it because I said that I wouldn't be vlogging anymore like that. But I got to the office at 5:55, 6 o'clock a.m. yesterday. I didn't leave out of here into this studio. Now, don't get me wrong, I do take breaks and I do leave out of here for an hour at a time, 15. I just need to clear my mind, or I need to go and crash and take a nap or something like that. But let's be clear. I was here for over 14 hours in total yesterday. 14. That's the non-glamorous part. That's the working. I still got corporate America. I still got to do conference calls. I still got to do coaching. I still got to take care of business. And so when you then see me pull up and what I pull up, that ain't, and people say, oh man, how you got it? You just got lucky. No, I grind. I hustle. I push. I grind. I hustle. I push. It's not easy. You can have whatever you want as long as you make an informed decision and you're willing to work for it. But everybody just want it easy. And that's disrespectful to the game. It's disrespectful to the game to want it so easy and just expect for everybody to just give you something. And you just wake up and just because you ain't have to grind for it. You ain't have to work for it. You ain't never did no classes. You ain't never really studied hard. You ain't put your time in. You ain't got your 10,000 hours in. And yet you think that you're supposed to have the same thing as everybody else, or you think that you're being scammed because you don't feel like you're getting paid what you think that you're worth. That's called entitlement. That's why immigrants over here wind up creating the majority of the wealth, because they're willing to work for it. That's why I don't subscribe to diversity, equity, and inclusion, because why should somebody get a leg up on somebody else just because they have a particular skin color? That's why I don't subject myself to the idea that racism is supposed to be something that keeps me back from what it is that I'm supposed to have. No, I get what I put into it. I get out of it what I put into it.
We're getting blown out. I think a big part of it is that they saw us fall into the trap and they don't want to fall into the trap themselves. And honestly, I can't blame them. I mean, just look at it from this perspective. Wages aren't keeping pace with inflation. I mean, right there, that is a huge killer for motivation. no retirement, probably not going to retire. Millennials, Gen Z, shit, that's going to be real tough for most of us to have a conventional retirement. I'm going to do another video about that. I think what we'll see is from Gen Z is a renewed focus on entrepreneurship, because that's
okay, cool. Well, you can fail in that too, and you're gonna get way more debt with that too, and you ain't gonna have no pension, and you don't get a 401k, and you don't get a retirement, and you don't get the money management skills, you don't get the life skills, you don't get any. Listen, it don't matter what path you do, you still got to work. You can't complain about being lazy and then say people gonna lean more into entrepreneurship. It's harder. It's much harder to be an entrepreneur. I mean, and when I say harder, I mean 10, 15, 20 times harder. Because ain't nobody going to wake you up. Ain't nobody going to write you up and put you on a performance improvement plan while they still paying you. Ain't nobody going to deal with your nonsense. HR ain't going to be there in order to babysit you, and you don't get any benefits that come along with it. It's way harder and less likely for you to be successful as an entrepreneur, which I'm not telling you not to do it, but I am giving you a reality check that it's a competition. And when you talk about capitalism, that means that people are going to pay you based off of what the market conditions are. You don't get to charge your own prices and then expect for somebody to just pay it just because you said it. Get out of here, man.
Honestly, where you're going to make your real money. You're not going to make your real money going to a 9 to 5, unless you are super disciplined. Unless you're super disciplined, you can still make that work.
That's so dumb.
But I don't think that no one wants to work anymore. I think people, younger people especially, are having a harder time finding the motivation to live a conventional life. That's basically how I see it. I want to have your thoughts in the comments too, guys. I appreciate all the input that you guys have shown so far. This has been amazing. Just the reaction to all these topics. I'm not the be all end all. I don't have all the answers. That's one of the reasons why I started this channel. So, yeah, what do you think about this meme? No one wants to work anymore. I don't think it's that simple. I really don't. I think there's a lot of factors at play, chief of which is that they just don't want to get trapped, wasting their life in a 9 to 5 nightmare. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching Millennial Diligence. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and
make sure y'all go and check out his channel again. Just my own personal opinion to end off the show. And there's nothing wrong with having a job. I think that jobs are awesome depending on what you need them for. And so I do both. I got a job, I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I got a lot of different businesses, and I got a real estate, and I'm building and all of that stuff. So it's just laziness. That's what it comes down to. Not being disciplined, making sure you're having way more debt than anybody else, and laziness. Look, matter of fact, I'll share it with you. Check it out. Right after they say that, this is what they say.
A troubling new study this morning found that Generation Z is racking up debt at a faster rate than millennials did at their age.
Yeah, according to...
So they getting way more debt. I'm not even going to deep dive into that. So they getting way more debt, credit card debt, student loan debt, the whole 9 yards, but yet they don't want to work. Anyways, miss me with